I'm not going to waste too much of your time, guys. I'm just going to get this out of the way as quickly as I can. This is the Monday Night Raw review. I'm going to give you guys a quick review. I'm already angry enough as it is, and look, it shouldn't come as a surprise to you that, oh, Patrick is angry as always. I know. I sound like some bitter Australian dude who's just always angry all the time. Like, I want to be positive, trust me guys, I really do. I know a lot of people probably just wish I was positive and they say good things about WWE, but if Triple H actually did his job and gave me things I can be invested in, then maybe I would be. But here's the problem. He brought back AJ Lee, someone I've wanted to see back for 10 years, and she's been off TV for 5 weeks at this point. This has been the 5th week since WrestlePalooza, and I'm keeping track. I've been keeping track of how many Mondays it's been, or Tuesdays here in Australia, it's been since AJ's last appearance at WrestlePalooza. I'm keeping track. It's 5 weeks. 5 weeks since she's been off the show. And some people are telling me she's doing a book tour. I mean, look, if she's got commitments outside of WWE, I want to make this perfectly clear. They signed her to a multi-year full-time contract. If WWE knew, which, knowing Triple H, he probably didn't, if they knew she had commitments outside of wrestling, then maybe they should have given her a part-time contract instead of a full-time wrestler's contract. Because she signed multi-year, full-time. And this is the 5th week we haven't seen her on the show. No, I won't say no mention of AJ Lee. She has been mentioned. But no mention of AJ Lee during Becky's feuds. Like the commentators don't mention AJ Lee making Becky Lynch tap out or anything. Like, Becky is feuding with Maxine Dupree all because Tozawa made fun of Becky Lynch because AJ Lee made her tap out. It's like she's mentioned, but she's not on the show. So Becky's pissed at Maxine Dupree because she made fun of her. All because of the AJ Lee situation. Feels like the whole thing with AJ Lee was just one and done. It's like it was never supposed to lead to AJ Lee getting a championship match, even though AJ Lee, at the end of SmackDown, in an exclusive video, was carrying the Intercontinental Championship around, and she wore it around her waist. So clearly she wanted the title. And now they're teasing Becky Lynch could be turning face on Raw today because she snapped at Paul Heyman for what happened to Seth. So, I don't think AJ and Becky are going to get their match. So I don't think AJ and Becky is going to have a one-on-one match. So I'm kind of realized that she came back for the sake of a viral moment, tapped out Becky Lynch in a match that meant nothing, and now she's off TV. So Seth Rollins has been stripped of the World Heavyweight title, and then we get a big-ass battle royal to determine who will be who will be the next person in line, because CM Punk earned the right to basically fight Seth for the title. So we get another number one contenders match. So how is CM Punk the number one contender for the World Heavyweight title, but then we get another number one contender? So there's a number one contender and a number two contender. I don't get it. But they needed someone to fill in for Seth Rollins. And this isn't the first time Seth Rollins has lost a title due to injury. Remember his first WWE Championship reign in 2015, I believe it was, when he performed the heist of the century. He got injured then. So this isn't the first time we've seen this happen. Or was that 2014? I think it was 2015. I'm pretty sure it was 2015. So Paul Heyman explains his actions. He basically says that he never wanted to be paired with Seth Rollins, and he basically says that he wanted to be paired with Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. Well, then why the hell did you turn on Roman Reigns and CM Punk then? I mean, that, like, to me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, I know Paul Heyman is trying to make sense of the situation, but if you never wanted to be with Seth, you didn't have to get paired with, you didn't have to ally with Seth to get to Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But hey, this is the Triple H Paul Levesque era. Anything he does literally makes no sense. Even if you try to make sense of it, it just doesn't make sense. But we all know the Triple H supporters, the people that love Triple H's booking, and they will be like, please sir, can I have some more? They'll be the ones that'll basically accept that answer and be like, man, Triple H cooked. Cinema! AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. They capture the World Tag Team titles by defeating the Judgment. We never defend our titles. The day. I was trying to make it make sense, but it was the Judgment. We never defend our titles because WWE can't find tag teams for us to defend against. Day. Look, man, if you're not going to treat the Judgment Day like a serious faction, then don't make them champions anymore. Look, man, I know Triple H wanted to break up the Judgment Day when he first took over, but it was still fresh and new then. So it shouldn't have been broken up when it was still fresh and new. But now it's run its course. It's run its course because Damian Priest ain't there anymore. Rhea's not there anymore. And now they're trying to add new members like Liv Morgan, and Raquel, and Carlito, Roxanne. They're trying to keep... Now it feels like Triple H is trying to keep the faction going because at first they didn't want the faction to end. Because it was still fresh. That's why we didn't want it to break up. Now we're at the point we're ready for it to break up. How long is it going to take until Finn Balor finally snaps on Dominic? Because Finn Balor was angry at Dominic for pinning him at WrestleMania to steal the Intercontinental Championship. And he still hasn't beaten his ass up for it yet. I don't get it, man. I really do not get this storytelling. Oh, it's called long-term storytelling, Patrick. Does Dominic Mysterio need to be the Intercontinental Champion for an entire year? Does he? Can someone seriously tell me, does Dominic Mysterio need to be the champion for this long? People complained about Tiffany Stratton being champion for this long. People complained about Tiffany Stratton for being champion for a long time. What about Dominic? He doesn't need to be champion for this long. Does he need to be Does he need to be a champion for an entire year? At least with Tiffany, I can sort of understand it because she's being built up as the future of the company. She's being built up as the future star for WWE for the next 5-10 years. Dominic, he shouldn't be champion for this long. He should have already lost it by SummerSlam. Finn should have already turned on Dominic by now, and the title should have been on the line at SummerSlam, and Finn should have already won the title by now. But no, they want to keep dragging this stupid shit out with the Judgment Day because Liv Morgan got hurt. The Judgment Day doesn't need to be a thing anymore. If you cannot do anything with the Judgment Day as champions, then don't make them champions anymore. Because seriously, ever since these new designs have been brought in, these have been the champions. Truth and Miz, they were given these new belts that were brought in last year. Truth and Miz. Then we get the Judgment Day again because Liv Morgan helped them. And then they were champions for a long time. Bayley defended them. Then they lost them to the returning War Raiders. War Raiders barely did anything with them. Then they dropped them to the New Day, who Man, I really feel Triple H has really fumbled the New Day's heel turn. Man, very much fumbled their heel turn. Like, their heel turn was great, but man, I feel like he's really fumbled it. And then you would think a heel team like the New Day could at least bring some prestige to the tag team titles because of how great the New Day are. But nope, they just drop them to the Judgment Day after a few months. And then we do the same thing again with the Judgment Day. They hold the belts and they never defend them. Triple H is terrible when it comes to booking champions. He'll either have Sami Zayn do open challenges for 6 weeks, and then you'll get people on the internet accepting a 59-day title reign as an acceptable title reign. Because I literally saw people saying, not every title reign needs to be over 200 plus days. Sami Zayn made the United States Championship relevant with only 49 days. Did he though? Did he really do a good job with the United States title to you? In my opinion, he did nothing. It was just open challenge after open challenge after open challenge. No storylines. It was just Sami being the fighting champion. And now people want Ilya Dragunov to do the same thing? Continue the open challenge tradition? No, I want storylines. I want these titles to have storylines and meaning behind them. I don't want them to just be defended just for the sake of being defended. That's what this world has come to. It's come to the point where the titles need to be defended because Triple H can't be buggered, having more than 5 matches on a PLE card. Oh man, I can't do more than 5 matches because I have too many damn titles. If I put every damn title on the pay-per-view, that means we'll get at least 8 to 9 matches on a PLE. God forbid, right? God forbid we can actually have a good 3-4 hour pay-per-view like AEW do. Oh, but people aren't going to sit there for 3 to 4 hours. Well, suck it up then. Do I have to remind you all of WrestleMania? Was it 37? The one where Becky Lynch became double champion. Like, that was 7 hours. I think that was 37. Yeah, I think it was 37. Correct me if I'm wrong. The WrestleMania where Becky Lynch became double champion, that was 7 hours. If you think 3 to 4 hours is too much, try and watch that WrestleMania. That was 7 hours. And that's why they started the 2-night concept. Because the pay-per-views were getting too long. Actually, I think it was 36 now I think about it. Because one of the... I don't know. There's so many damn WrestleManias. 30, I think it was 35. Because one Mania was COVID. Yeah, I think it was 35 actually. WrestleMania 35 was Becky. And then 36 was COVID Mania. That was the start of the 2-night tradition. 37 was Bianca and Sasha. They main evented that one. And you get it. Like that, the WrestleMania where Becky became a 2-time champion was when fans had enough of these long WrestleManias. And that's when they started the tradition of 2-night WrestleManias. All because that WrestleMania went for 7 hours. If you're telling me you can't sit through a 3 to 4 hour pay-per-view, then you wouldn't survive that WrestleMania. Because that WrestleMania was 7 hours long. I can at least sit through 3-4 hours of wrestling. Anyway. Then after that, we get Triple H just decides to do all of these title matches all in a row. Instead of just spreading them out throughout the show, we go from Dragon Lee and AJ Styles to Dominic and Rusev. My oh my, how the mighty has fallen for Rusev. Remember when he came back and everyone was like, oh my God, Rusev's back, man. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for WWE to do a great job. Can't wait, man. Can't wait for Rusev. Man, he's going to be a dominant heel. He's going to be a dominant heel. He's going to be booked perfectly. Triple H is going to book him like the monster heel he should be. And he's going to prove that Tony Khan fumbled Rusev. Tony fumbled, man. Tony fumbled Rusev. I cannot wait. And now here he is losing to a low blow and a frog splash due to Penta interfering. This dude can't beat this dude, the man who was once undefeated as United States champion. Remember when everyone complained about John Cena being the first guy to beat him? Remember that? Remember when everyone bitched about John Cena being the first guy to beat Rusev? And they said that John Cena buried him back in 2015? Well, here we are in 2025 and Rusev can't even beat Dirty Dom. Dirty Dom. Dirty Dom. He can't even beat Dirty Dom. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He can't even beat Dirty Dom. So, I mean, it's an exact repeat over the last few weeks. Even though I haven't really been reviewing them, I've seen the highlights. Like, Penta screwed Rusev the first time, and then when Penta got his title shot, Rusev screwed him, and then now Penta does the exact same thing again like last week. Again, it's rinse and repeat, copy and paste. Triple H can't book for shit. He's literally just copy and pasting things over the last several weeks, man. Why does Dominic need to be champion for this long? I have no idea. I have no idea. I literally do not have any idea why Rusev is losing to Dominic and why Dominic he has to be champion for this long. Finn Balor should have already turned on him by now, but no, this is Triple H's era where everything needs to go on for an entire year. So Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree for the IC title. Again, he did all 3 title matches in a row. He did them all in a row. He didn't spread them out. He didn't try to, make one start the show and one main event or anything like that. He just had them all in a row. All the title matches all lined up perfectly in a row instead of just spreading them out. Maxine Dupree beats Becky Lynch by disqualification because she beat her by count out last time, and so instead of just having Maxine win in her hometown, give her a feel-good moment, they'll just like, yeah, we'll have her win, but we'll just not have Becky lose the title. So Becky gets herself disqualified this time. Are we ever going to get Maxine pinning or submitting the champion, or are you just too afraid to have Maxine actually beat Becky Lynch cleanly? Look, I don't hate Maxine Dupree as much as other people do. I don't think Maxine is as bad as what other people try to say. I do think Maxine has gotten better as a wrestler. I seriously do not think she's as bad as what people try to make her out to be. Because there are people out there that try to say she is a really god-awful wrestler. And I'll tell you this, if you think Maxine Dupree is bad, you clearly haven't seen Eva Marie wrestle. You clearly haven't. Or you haven't seen Rosa Mendez wrestle. Clearly. Like, to try and say Maxine is a really god-awful wrestler, you're really trying to say people like Eva Marie and Rosa Mendez are better than her. They're not. Eva Marie is above those ladies. At least Maxine can actually wrestle and actually do moves. Eva Marie could barely do anything in the ring. So that's all I'm trying to say. I don't think Maxine is as bad as what other people are trying to say. And look, you may think, oh, I'm lying. I'm lying to my audience. I'm not. I'm being honest in my own way. We all have different opinions. We all have different opinions. We all have different says. And whether you agree with it or not, that's perfectly fine. But I genuinely do not think Maxine is as bad as what other people are trying to say. I'm not trying to change your mind. If you still think Maxine Dupree is awful, then sure, you can say that. Sure, you can say she's awful. I'm not here to change your opinion. I'm just here to tell you she's not as bad as what other people are trying to say. Is she believable to beat Becky Lynch? Probably not, but that's up to WWE to make it believable. That's what Triple H needs to do. If he really wants Maxine to beat Becky for the title, he needs to make it look believable that Maxine can beat Becky. You can't just keep giving Maxine DQ and count-out wins over the champion, because it's basically saying you don't think Maxine beating Becky is believable. You're then trying to say Maxine keeping Becky's shoulders down for a 3 or tapping her out to the ankle lock isn't believable. That's what you're saying. If you're having Maxine win by count out and DQ, you're then saying it's not believable she can pin Becky Lynch. That's what you're trying to say. Becky Lynch then confronts Paul Heyman backstage, and Paul Heyman tries to sweet talk her. He's trying to be nice, and he's trying to apologize for what happened to Seth and all that, and Becky Lynch then grabs him by the tie, and she pretty much tells him that she never trusted him from the beginning, and she basically says Seth knew Paul Heyman would betray him. So, yeah. And then some people see that as a Becky Lynch face turn. And look, I'm not going to be shocked if that eventually happens. I'm not going to be surprised if Becky does turn babyface, because then it just makes that whole situation with AJ Lee completely pointless. It just makes that whole situation with AJ Lee last month completely pointless. At WrestlePalooza. Oh, sorry, I should say 5 weeks ago. Because it's been 5 weeks since we've seen her. So everything they did with Becky 5 weeks ago is just completely useless if Becky does turn babyface. Roxy, good old Roxy, doing what she does best, and that's looking up at the lights, getting pinned. As always, nothing about Roxanne has changed. She loses to Stephanie Vacquier. Roxanne tried to claim she deserves a shot at the title, and, well, losing to the champion sure as hell not going to make it believable. But yet, people tried to tell me Roxanne being in the Judgment Day is believable. Roxy being in the Judgment Day is a good thing because it gets her on TV. It's all that matters to these people. As long as they're on TV, they don't care. They don't care if Roxanne has 100 losses in a row because she's still on TV. Oh, she's a former tag team champion, Patrick. Being in the Judgment Day has been nothing but good for her, because she gets TV time and she's a former tag team champion. Who did she beat? Go on, tell me. Who did Roxanne and Raquel Rodriguez beat to win those tag team championships? Can I get any suggestions? Any suggestions, anyone? Raise your hand. Is anyone going to tell me who Roxanne and Raquel defeated to become the women's tag team champions? Oh, wait. The answer is nobody. The answer is nobody. Because Liv Morgan got injured. Instead of vacating the titles and then doing that fatal four-way like they did at Evolution, where it was Roxy and Raquel versus Bliss and Flair and Sol Ruka and Zarya and the Kabuki Warriors for the vacated tag team titles, and you could have had Roxanne and Raquel win them that way, Triple H decides to give Roxanne Perez an early Christmas gift and hands her the women's tag team championship on a silver platter, all because Liv Morgan got hurt. Instead of vacating the titles, they just have Roxanne be given the tag team championship. But yet people want to tell me that Roxanne is fine. Being in the Judgment Day has been nothing but good for her. Please. Please. It has been god-awful for her. And now Nikki Bella's back. And now she's helping Stephanie fight off Roxy and Raquel. Boy, oh boy, I can't wait for Nikki Bella to beat Roxanne Perez now. Can't wait for next week on Raw. Nikki Bella versus Roxanne Perez. And then Nikki Bella drops Roxy with a rack attack 2.0 and pins her shoulders. Boy, oh boy, can't wait. Because that's what Roxy does best. She looks up at the lights. She's a jobber. That's what she is to the eyes of WWE. She's a complete and utter loser. And yet they want to make it believable that she's worthy of a challenge for the Women's World Championship. Because they had Roxanne last week say she was the last person to beat Io. Does anyone remember that? Does anyone remember you doing that, Roxanne? Does anyone remember when you beat Alexa Bliss? You know, beating Io and Alexa Bliss was supposed to be big wins for someone like Roxanne. But those big wins did nothing for her because it didn't elevate her up the card. She just went back to losing. That's all Roxanne does, is lose. People used to say pin Balor for Finn Balor because he always got pinned. Well, I've got one for you. It's called Pin San Perez. Because that's what Roxanne always does. She always gets pinned. Look, I'm not trying to say she should have beaten Stephanie Vacquier. All I'm saying is they put her in this situation last week, trying to claim she's worthy of a title opportunity because she was the last person to beat Io. So WWE put her in this position, and now they're trying to make her look like a believable challenger for the world title, even though she's been doing nothing but lose. 1 win per month. She'll be lucky to get 1 win per month. That's Roxanne's main roster career. Losing every match, but gets 1 win per month. Remember when she was Remember when she was the runner-up in the Royal Rumble? We all thought big things were coming for her because she was the runner-up in the Royal Rumble and, you know, she had the longest time in the match. We all thought there was big things coming for her, but nope. Those big things are losing 56 matches in a row, 57 now, and being handed over and being gifted a tag team title all because Liv Morgan got injured. Man, what a great main roster career Roxanne Perez is having. Get her out of the Judgment Day. She doesn't fit in it. She doesn't belong in it. And her character does not fit it. She's the prodigy. No one's on her level. But according to Triple H, everyone is on the level of Roxy. Jey Uso wins the Battle Royal to fight CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. Who wants this? Who wants to see this? Who wants to see Jey Uso versus CM Punk? I don't understand. Look, I like Jey, okay? I like Jey. I do. But I'm sorry, I don't want to see this match. I don't want to see this. This is not a match I want to see. Okay, Pat, who would you have CM Punk versus at Saturday night's main event? LA Knight. LA Knight would have been a good choice. You know, AJ Styles could have been a good choice, but you gave him the tag team titles with Dragon Lee. Finn Balor. You know, there's actually a decent amount of options. I just gave you a couple right there. But the problem, that again, like I said, Triple H does a shitty job with his roster. He's got a shitty, and like hell, you could have even had Bron Breakker. You could have even had Bron Breakker win and fight CM Punk. Bronson Reed. You could have gone with anybody else. But instead, he goes with Jey Uso. Where the heck is Gunther? Where has he been? He hasn't been seen since CM Punk beat him. I don't know if he's taken time off or if he's injured. But again, man, this just doesn't make any sense. Why are we getting another face versus face match? CM Punk better win the World Heavyweight Championship, man. He better. Because, to be honest, I don't really want to see Jey Uso as champion again because the experiment failed the first time. The experiment failed the first time. Why try it again? Fans want to see Punk as champion, so you may as well just give the title to Punk. But that's your Monday Night Raw review, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.